Welcome to a new look program featuring everything we love about Arkansas outside. Our state is blessed with some of the most beautiful, most exciting, and most diverse outdoors experiences in the country. It's all Arkansas, and we sure think it's great. Welcome to Arkansas's Great Outdoors. Arkansas is blessed with some of the best geography in the country. From the Ozark Mountains to the Delta to the southern timberlands, we have the diversity of topography to keep you from ever being bored. And not too many states can make that claim. This program aims to highlight ways to help you enjoy our outdoors. We'll talk fishing, hiking, camping, hunting, archery. If you can do it outside, you'll find it here each week all year long. Now, one thing about Arkansas, we have a lot of water. Our fishing is world class. From rivers to streams to deep water reservoirs and swamps, you can always find a fish to catch. So let's start today's show with a good old-fashioned fishing derby in Carlisle at the pond of Jim Malone. Now, he is one of the nation's leading pond stockers. So if you want to stock your pond with bass, crappie, brim, or catfish, contact J.M. Malone and Son. If you want to see some kids catch a crazy amount of fish, here you go. Okay, so here we got, we're gonna call this the Malones Championship, all right? So for the Malones Championship right here, we got two teams. Have you guys named your team yet?
Team Tackle.
Team Tackle? Okay, all right, that's the team. Okay, what about you guys?
We're going with the Harry Potter reference for the Death Eaters.
The Death Eaters, okay, all right. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. 30 minutes, whoever catches the most fish wins, all right? We're doing rock, paper, scissors with the team captains right here. And the winner of rock, paper, scissors gets to pick which position on this peninsula.
Okay.
All righty? 1, 2, 3. All right. Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. The Death Eaters win. You get to pick. Which one do you want? Where do you want to go?
Over here.
And the clock starts now. Okay?
Just aim for the feeder. That's where most of the fish will gather.
I got a fish! Come on! I need help! I need help!
Oh, how about that?
Got one. We both went at the same time.
Okay, we got one on.
2 points.
Team Tackle.
Come on, fishy, get out of the water!
Team Tackle was off to a commanding lead, had a little technical difficulty over here while they were having to redo some lines and some mean fish over here cutting some lines. But the Death Eaters are making a comeback. Is that number 6? Number 6. All right, so it's 8-6 now. 8-6 now. Team Tackle still holding on a lead, but we got a little competition going on.
Oh, yeah!
Number 9. There we go.
That's a big old bass.
Well, they tied us up when I caught that one.
I got one! Oh, yeah! Number 10!
Number 11.
Number 11 right here. Good job. Good job.
Number 11, we tied him. 12! 12! Oh my God! 12! We got 12! Oh! Oh! They lost it! Oh, we got one!
Okay. Oh, yeah. 15-15 right here at the buzzer. Okay, so we're going to switch sides now. How you feeling, Coach JJ?
Pretty good.
All right, ready? On your mark, get set, go. Here we go.
You can't really see the fish underwater. It's more murkier over here because you see the reflection of the trees more. So I think that's going to be challenging. So my thing was you keep looking in the water for the fish. Then you aim for there.
17.
16.
18.
18!
'21.
Oh, here we go.
19.
Okay, anything that's hooked on still counts. But that is it. All right, guys, we had a great competition. We had 30 minutes over here, and we switched sides. We caught all kinds of fish. And the winner by a score of 23 to 20, Team Tackle. Congratulations, all right? There we go, high five. All right, so the first ever Malones Cup goes to Team Tackle. 43 fish caught in 30 minutes. Everybody say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
One of the great areas of growth in Arkansas's outdoors is archery. It kind of takes you back to the roots of hunting, like deep roots centuries ago. But nowadays, not only can you hunt with a bow and arrow, but there are competitions all over. And our friends at Archer's Advantage in Sherwood will be giving us archery tips all season long. So let's talk a little bit about a real growing part of the archery world, which is competitive archery. So it, not really dealing with the hunting as much, which is what everybody thinks of a lot of times, but growing competitive archery is a big deal.
Yes, there's a lot of things you can shoot. There's Vegas, when winter time like it is right now, they shoot a lot of what they call indoor shoots, and they shoot targets like we have down there on the wall down there. Then when it comes spring, all the way up to the hunt season starts, they shoot outdoors called 3D shoots. Everybody be doing that. And a lot of bow hunters don't understand. A lot of people put their bows up come when bow season's over with, and they don't ever shoot it no more till the next year. And they're really missing out on a lot of good practice for hunting by shooting 3Ds. Yeah. I mean, they use life-size targets, deer, elk, just all kinds of targets, just anything. It's a good blast. You can shoot. They got all different kind of classes where you can shoot like your bow hunter class. Even beginners, they have a novice. They got classes for the kids, for different places where they can shoot from. So it keeps it all where they can try to keep them all where they can hit the targets most of the time.
So let's talk about what makes for a good setup for tournament archery.
Well, basically, you can just use the bow you hunt with. But yeah, your basic hunting bow will work just fine if we go out and shoot 3D. That's what a lot of people use. I'll say probably 75% of it.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, mow with an attitude, by H2O Marine, and by Archer's Advantage. All right, this should be a lot of fun. We're on a neat lake that has a lot of history, a lot of big fish in it, and we've got Mallory Lindsay, the Bad Boy spokesperson. Bad Boy's been a sponsor of this program for years. Bad Boy loves the outdoors. They support everything we do out here, and this is a lot of fun for you as well.
Oh my gosh, so I haven't really caught a big fish before, and so this is going to be really challenging, and I'm just so excited to get this going.
Well, we aim to end that streak. We're gonna get you a big fish today.
I mean, it's a challenge. I've never done this before.
Okay. Well, this is a good lake to start on. Now we're gonna have to battle some elements, and this is the adventure. This is fishing with an attitude right here, right. Because we got a nice wind coming straight at us right here. It's probably 20 plus miles an hour at times, which can be pretty challenging for boat positioning. But we've got the right lures on with a little bit of weight, and you should be able to feel when a big one grabs.
Okay, so, and when you say I feel it, is it more like a pull, or is it?
It can be either. Sometimes they'll grab it with an attitude, and then sometimes you just find out that it's heavy, and as you're pulling in, when you see that line move, set the hook.
All right, well, I'm ready for a big bad boy.
Okay, let's get that bad boy.
It's moving.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, we got something that's big. That's a tournament-sized crappie.
Is it?
Mallory, one of the things we're excited about is bringing your passion for the outdoors to this program. You've got a history of helping people break down those barriers of entry to really want to get outside. You're going to be providing some tips for us on how to enjoy the outdoors a little bit more.
Yeah, when I grew up, I had no really exposure to the outdoors, and so one of the things I really needed to know is how do I be safe outdoors, and how do I recognize things. So hopefully these tips and tricks are some of the things that I learned while I was first exploring, and so I hopefully to share them with your viewers too. And
you bring up a really good point, is being an adult convert to the outdoors. A lot of people are afraid to get out there if they didn't grow up doing it. And it's very accessible. It's not near as intimidating as you think. Just get out and we'll provide a few tips to help them do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Exposure is the biggest thing. And once you start kind of going and seeing these trails again and again and again, you start becoming more comfortable. And I think that's what it's all about. It's getting comfortable, learning, and of course, safety first. When exploring the great outdoors, safety is our #1 priority. So having a trail buddy is ideal. But if you have to go solo, make sure you text a friend or a family member your location and how long you'll be outdoors. In addition to texting, it's always a good idea to put your itinerary in your glove compartment. That way, if any unfortunate events happen and you need a search and rescue team to come find you, they have a good starting point.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, mow with an attitude, by H2O Marine, and by Archer's Advantage.
Mow with an attitude.
A little earlier in the show, you saw Mallory Lindsay, the Bad Boy Mowers spokesperson, giving us a hiking tip. Now, you'll see those tips on Arkansas's Great Outdoors all season long, but Mallory is looking to catch her first ever big bass. You can see that right now.
Oh, I got something!
Hey!
I think.
It feels like, yeah, it's a big one. That's a big one. We get the
Oh my gosh! Ooh! Jeez!
Look at that.
Oh man!
That is a bass right there.
Holy smokes!
Man.
Man! I did not think we were gonna catch
Oh,
something today.
That is good.
Wow!
Look at that thing.
Look at that
man.
ton, amazing.
Yes. I mean, this is a tournament fish. This is a big time tournament
Yeah?
fish. This is what they would call in some of these tournaments an anchor fish. So
This is a bad boy.
that's right. This is one bad boy right here. It weighs, it looks like it's holding at 5 pounds, 6 ounces. Boom.
And I
Boom.
thought it was a stump.
That's great.
Wow!
Oh, that's great.
Enough! That's bad boy, baby.
And there you have it, Mallory Lindsay's first ever big bass. What a great way to get started with some good Arkansas bass fishing. Now let's head up to Mountain Home and meet Dwayne Hayda, an artist and a fly angler who has made a lifetime out of introducing young people to the outdoors. Dwayne Hayda is an Arkansas treasure. He knows the waterways as well as anyone who has ever floated or waded them. He not only knows how to fish, but he is an avid hunter. And then he can record his outdoors adventures in a way few people can. He paints. Rivertown Gallery in Mountain Home is an artistic journey through the mind of one of Arkansas's great outdoorsmen. If it has happened outside, Dwayne has captured it on canvas or anything else that is handy. But it doesn't stop there. Dwayne is equally avid about sharing his love for the outdoors with the next generation. Dwayne is the state director for Cross Trail Outfitters, a national organization dedicated to teaching the skills of the outdoors through the lens of character development and Christian values. We met the boys and their leaders at a campfire just down the road from the White River, sharing stories from summer camp.
Well, where I come from, there isn't really very many ministries like CTO that will give you the chance to. I was thinking it was going to come in by where the dirt road was, and Calvin says to you, Mr. Hayda, there's a buck over there. And so
about like that casual. Hey, Mr. Hayda, there's a buck over there. I'm like, oh, yeah, there is.
And so, like, I was so nervous, and like, it's behind me, so it's going to be a hard shot. So I very slowly like turned around and did the tic-tac-toe method.
Yeah.
And shot him. Scoped myself.
You didn't even feel it though, did you?
I didn't. But it's probably one of the best moments of my life.
Awesome. That was a proud time. I was glad to be there with you. It was pretty cool.
We always had a real tight friend group. They called us Three Migos. I gave my heart to the Lord at that camp.
Amen.
And I learned how to fly fish somewhat. I had to master it later.
Is that down in South Arkansas?
Yes.
That one? Or the one over on the Buffalo River?
Buffalo.
Yeah. That's when we snagged the big turtle with the
Yes.
fly rod. We thought you had the world record of smallmouth until it surfaced. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
And I got my first deer in the rifle camp, which I was very lucky to have a spike come out about 20 yards in front of me. Perfect broadside shot. Did the tic-tac-toe method. ran about 40 yards and dragged him up a hill. It's the best experience of my life.
I've been in CTO for 2 years now, and my probably most favorite thing about CTO was when I caught my biggest trout. I caught a 33-inch brown trout on my fly rod. I fought it for about 15 minutes on my fly rod and finally landed her.
You know, fly fishing and bow hunting are two things I like to emphasize, not only because they're passions of mine, but also because they're very skill building, you know, and that's a very a good thing, I think, because, you know, to shoot an arrow well takes skill, and to cast a fly rod well takes skill. So anyway, we love the sport.
You mentioned the fact that archery teaches a lot of life lessons.
Yes.
And if I'm right, I think if you go to the original root form of the word sin
is a archery term. We
Yes.
did a whole devotional around the campfire. Remember that, guys? To sin is to what? Is to miss the mark. A lot of times we go to places where the cell phones don't work, and we ask them, you know, take your cell phone, put them in a basket here, or we have a big duffel bag, and we're going to fast from cell phone technology for 3 or 4 days. Some of them get a headache in a day or two, and they're like, you know, and I'm like, no, it'll be all right. You know, your mama knows where you're at. If anything happens, she'll be the first we call or whatever. But would you not agree with me, boys, by about the third?
I have a phone usually after camp is done. I did, like when we pack up stuff, I don't even think about packing up my phone.
Exactly. And what does it do for your mind, Dakota?
Stress relief.
You betcha. It just rolls off of you. We are so tied to this technology world that we live in.
They see the photos of the hunting and the fishing and everything like that, and they always assume that's the big part. But to me, the biggest part would always be, especially at summer camps, we have one every night. The biggest part is getting in every night after maybe you've been out hog hunting, or maybe you've been out fly fishing along the Little Buffalo. Everyone's tired, everyone's full from supper, everyone's ready to go to bed arguably, everyone's sitting around the campfire cutting up, but then you get around, you get in the mood of wanting to honor God because of everything that has been placed before you in that moment, because of the friendships that you've made. By day 2, it's already felt like you've been there 3 months, and you never want to leave it. You feel like that you've made bonds with brothers that you'll never leave again in your life, and you never want the feeling to ever end.
We can't say it any better than that. Great work, Dwayne, and all those who are bringing the outdoors and great character to the next generation. If you'd like to get involved or find out how you can help, send an email to dhada@teamcto.org or find them on Facebook at Cross Trail Outfitters, Buffalo River, Arkansas chapter. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, mow with an attitude, by H2O Marine, and by Archer's Advantage.
Arkansas is blessed with some great outdoorsmen and women, and also blessed with some great artists. Now, in the previous segment, you met Dwayne Hada. Now let's meet Danny Harris. You know, one of the things we talk about is when you get involved with the outdoors, it becomes a lifestyle. And part of that lifestyle is the artistry of the outdoors. We've got Danny Harris here with us. Now, Danny, you have put some beautiful pieces of art together to really commemorate your time in the outdoors as well. And this is all made out of wood. And it's really kind of a reflection of your love of the outdoors.
Yeah, it is. I've been an avid hunter and fisherman all my life, and I've also been an artist all my life. I've drawn and paint, and I just got into wood carving last December.
Very lifelike. And this was modeled after a fish you actually caught?
Yeah, it was some I'd taken photos of. We had been crappie fishing, me and a buddy of mine been crappie fishing, and I took a few close-ups of it. And it is, you know, I've seen thousands of crappie, and I've drawn and painted them, but I just needed some for this, so this is where I started with it.
So that's fish number one.
Fish number one.
All right. The colors on this is just, I mean, it's just amazing. The colors on a beautiful rainbow trout that we've got lots of in Arkansas. Just amazing. And then that largemouth bass, I mean, that's a tournament fish right there.
Yeah.
The first carving took him 80 hours to complete, but with practice, he's got it down to 40 hours each.
When we see the close-ups of this, you can really appreciate the detail of the individual scales and just looking at the texturing here on the rainbow trout. I mean, this took some time to get it just right.
The scales are done by burning. I have a wood burner that has a special scale tip. And going back to competition, when you're in like a world event, they get technical on it. I mean, there's a certain number of scales from the lateral line to the top of the back that they'll count.
Wow.
There's a certain number of scales from the front to back, and they'll count them to see if they're right. They'll measure. They'll make measurements. So they're pretty picky on the so it's time consuming.
What's next with this? I mean, for people who are seeing this, there's no doubt going to be some people who say, I want to get one of those. Is there a way that people are going to be able to buy these? You're going to keep these to yourself, or what's next?
Well, I'm going to keep some right now just to get up enough to do a show with or do some shows with. And then probably starting in 2022, I'll start selling some pieces. But I have a Facebook page, and then I have a YouTube channel that I've started. And I probably will start selling after the first of the year. Right now I have no plans to sell any till then because I want to get enough done to maybe do some shows.
Well, everybody's got a way they contribute. And you've got, as you mentioned, some God-given talents to be able to do this, and this helps bring the beauty of the outdoors into a way that other people can appreciate them when they're not outside. They can look at this inside, it reminds them of when they're outside. But this is part of the artistry of the outdoors, and which is a key component to all of us who love being outside, and we appreciate you sharing your talents with us. We did a lot in our first show of the season. You got to see a good old-fashioned fishing derby in Carlisle. You met Mallory Lindsay, and we'll be seeing her outdoors tips all year long. And you got to see her first ever big bass. We met Dwayne Hayda, working hard to educate and inspire the next generation in the ways of the outdoors. And from one artist to the next, Danny Harris carving some wonders to help bring the outdoors indoors. We sure hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed bringing it to you, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Arkansas's Great Outdoors.